he's 4.
Yes.
And he was just started this summer. Our goal for him is very, very, very little.
Yes.
Okay? And what we want is direction about how to deal with the tolt and the trot. Probably, because he'll probably have most of the winter off.
Okay.
And the tolt and the trot when we start really working him next spring and summer.
So he was started just now?
He was started, this summer.
And have you been working on the gaits like systematically already?
No.
Or are you just riding him whatever you
whatever
can
he
get?
wants. He has the. Did you see his canter yet?
No, I haven't seen anything. I just saw it place.
The
Looks
canter is just adorable.
Okay.
He trained so easy. She never had a horse that trained easier. He has a
good. Looks like a very sweet guy.
He has a relaxed energy.
Yeah.
He was only bad once. They caught him at it, and that went away. He was kind of in a tizzy when he got in here today, which is unlike how he is. He goes out on the trail. Nothing bothers him. He's just really relaxed. We just let him do whatever gait he wanted, except sometimes we have to ask for canter or trot tolt, and we didn't try to distinguish between the two at all. Just go forward, stop, turn, that sort of thing.
That sounds really good. Show him to me, ride him a little bit. And just do what you would do if I wasn't here,
Yeah. Now he loves to canter. And that's kind of what we done with him.
Okay, good. So that's good. That's good enough. Come here.
And I'm not looking for a whole lot. We'll just do a little this weekend. We wanted to bring him, show him a new place,
Yep,
have him
good
have
idea.
the experience, play with him.
I have a very strong opinion on all those things, so I like it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I agree with. So he just turned 4
This summer.
this summer. So he's a little bit over 4. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you don't have to do a lot of gait training yet.
Right.
I will show you at least how to work towards it and maybe get it a little bit started, just depending on what he offers. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
I think it's good for him to be ridden on trot, and canter is fine too. What I would keep in mind though, when because he looks for the canter, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay to a certain extent, but there is limits to it too. So here's what you have to think about. Number one, that he does not always roll into the same lead canter. You have to soon start to affect that.
Yeah. He does both of these.
Yeah, just make sure you can somewhat affect that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So if you just happen to let him always roll into the same lead, because you don't really think about it, that will make him one-sided very fast. Okay, so that's one thing.
Right.
I would maybe not always let him go into. I would try to slowly get him to extend on trot, like without meaning like not extend like an extended trot, but like stay on trot. And if he rolls always, he will probably you will most likely start to see soon that he has more tendency to roll into one lead or the other. Whether it's now or not, it's probably, everybody's right or left-handed, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you're riding him trot, he always starts to roll into that right lead, then you can start to turn him a little bit to the right and say to him, now let's ride the trot. Okay. So at this stage, it's all more suggestions. Okay. You approach things like you're suggesting something to him. and trying just to kind of allow things to happen. Don't think like if he doesn't do this so that he's being bad. It's just like, well, it's like you talk to him like, well, I think that's a better idea. I think that's a better idea. And then you just make sure your idea becomes a better idea. You know what I mean? Your idea becomes the easier way, right? So that's one thing. What I would, the first thing though that I noticed that I would like you to think about and be careful with is I would like you to ride him with absolutely no rein contact. Okay? And the way you do it with a young horse like this is I don't have you on yet. I can turn you on here if you want. Okay, I'm on, right? Can you hear me now? Okay. I want you to ride him literally most of the time with a loop to the rein.
Okay.
You tell him what to do, you loop the rein again. You tell him what to do, you loop the rein again. Okay? And I'm going to show you then another exercise that I use a lot when I start to use both reins. But what I noticed, you were trying, I think you're a little bit ahead of him as far as trying to have a contact. So in the beginning, it is very much black or white. You either put just the rein on and you ask him to turn or whatever.
Yeah, that's how he's been trained.
Yeah, and then it just goes off. Good.
Yeah.
Keep that up a little bit longer. Okay, especially in the warm-up every time.
Okay.
Then as he gets warmed up and you maybe start to get into some details, we will see how far we go with that on the weekend. It might be times where it's okay to have a little bit of a contact, but you always have to go back to that loose thing. So here's how it works, to kind of explain the theory a little bit. In the beginning, we work with separated cues. Okay? We work with separated cues. That means lag without rein, rein without lag. Okay? That's how you train a young horse. You ride the horse forward, the rein is loose. The rein has nothing to do with going forward or turning. It's totally separated. Lag from rein, rein from lag, or lag without rein, rein without lag. Left without right, right without left. That's like totally separate. Everything is individually. And then when you start to see, and in my opinion, the horse is ready for tull training when he knows connected cues. So first you ride the totally separated cues. Then we slowly start to teach them like some lateral work and things like that, where you have to use hands and legs together, right? Slow down, push with one side, go into a leg yield or side pass or something like that, or turn on the forehand or whatever. When you can start to, you're a sweet guy, huh? When you have a little bit of understanding for a connected cue, you can ride the horse kind of a little bit in between the eights, right? Like collective walk, for example, something like that. Then the horse is ready for tull training. That's what you use for tull training. Okay? Because when I noticed when he started riding with a little bit of a contact, he started coming up a little bit more than I would like him to. I would like him to be more free in his head position, and ideally lower for now. Very important that they're allowed to keep their head low in the beginning. Okay, let me just show you a few things. Go ahead and walk on the rail. You ride him on a loose rein, but you are still obviously riding the horse and telling him what to do. So even though the rein is loose, it does not mean he can go wherever he wants to. So you obviously riding forward with your legs and make sure he's focused forward. If he's looking left to right or going left to right without your permission, you just simply use the opposite rein to straighten him up, right? But as soon as, let's say you're riding along the rail, he turns to the inside. As soon as he turns to the inside, you pull to the outside and straighten him up. As soon as he's there, you release again. See what I mean? So it never stays on. And obviously this is a little bit how it always is, but it's even more exaggerated with young horses. Boom, 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 release. Tell him what to do, release. Keep him more forward. More forward. Keep him on the rail. Release. Good. Very important that the initial, so it's a little bit tricky sometimes when you're riding with a loose rein, and then you want to get into the rein quickly to correct him, you know what I mean? That the initial touch, after the loop, you know, we have a loopy rein, right? Then you want to get into the mouth and ask him to do something. The initial touch always has to be very soft. Then you can be firm. That makes sense? So as you pick it up from a slack into contact, that's soft, and then you can bring his head around or be firm or whatever, and then release again. See what I mean? So you never have any any kind of jerking movement. You know what I mean? It's like soft, firm. Good. Good, and release. Good. Good. There you go. I like him to go down. I like him to go down, but I like him still to keep going forward. So even though he lowers his head and even though he's going where he's supposed to be, he always needs to be on a mission. There was a very good trainer in Iceland who said once in an interview, the young horse should never be allowed to walk. The interview was on training young horses. Never allow the horse to walk without pushing off his hind end. So if you feel like he's getting lazy from the hind end, you have to push him in. That's good. That's good. You can still be relaxed. Keep a loop to the rein. Good. Go ahead and take a circle to the right and turn him around. There you go. Good. That's what I like. Extended neck a little bit and extended steps. Very good. Okay, now go ahead and do the same on trot. You rather want to sit light than heavy, so you can sit a little bit in towards a half seat or just kind of don't bounce too much on his back. Just kind of be rather forward, if anything, with your seat, so the weight goes a little bit down your thighs. So the goal here is to get him independently forward thinking, so wherever you point his forehead is where he thinks. Wherever you point his forehead is where he goes, is where he focuses to. So he should not need rein contact to stay focused. Nothing to do with that, as far as focus forward, you know. Forward. And there, for example, you know what I mean, I would try to just keep him trotting. Hands a little bit more forward now. And now. There. Good. And then take a break and walk. Very important that you always keep the work within his limit, right? So if you, meaning like, not talking about like, you know, the length of the ride, I'm more talking about like so we work in kind of periods, right? So you ride him a little bit around, and then make sure he gets a break. Even though we know he's maybe physically not very tired, he could mentally just kind of, you know, need to do something different. Okay, turn him around. And you also need to be careful to keep it interesting. So sometimes it's enough just to turn him around to turn the whole world around, you know what I mean? Yeah. Everything changes then. Try it again. So in other words, you don't want to ride around and around and around and around and around. You know, you always want to think of something a little bit new that he can you know, find interesting. Always be sure that you feel him trying to push a little bit off his hind end. So that does not mean he has to go fast, but it means like you have to feel a little bit of effort that he's trying to go forward. Don't, even though, see, it's better to ride him for 10 minutes. Yeah. And make sure he does not get away with being very lazy instead of riding for half an hour and allowing him to be lazy the whole time. You know what I mean? Yep. It does not have to be powerful and fast, but he has to at least be trying. No? Forward, up. And then slow down to walk. Good. Come here. Now I want to show you something that I think is very, very important. When he's a very sweet guy. He's pretty good looking too. His blaze is just perfect.
I know, isn't it?
His blaze.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like it's it's like an art, you know.
He's from Quaker.
Yeah, I know. Totally.
Yeah. So.
Okay, now here's a very important thing. let's do some stopping exercises. And I want you to, I'll just show you here, play that. You walk him, you get into a circle, that's how it's going to start, and we will build on this. You walk him into a circle, get a good bend to his neck, with the inside rein obviously, the outside is loose, and then you stop him with both reins, but maintaining the bend. So you don't put pressure on both reins while he is straight.
Okay.
So we do like this, bend, stop.
Okay.
It's going to stop like in this, after he stands still, after he stops,
Yeah.
he's going to be in this position.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So the reason I'm doing this is we're making sure, okay, let me back up a little bit. When I train young horses, number one is obviously forward.
Yeah.
Okay? Before you have forward, you have nothing. Number two is left and right. Then is one rein stop. Then is two rein stop with the bend. And then quite a while later is stopping with two reins and straight.
Okay.
Why? I want to be really sure that he never figures out that he can use that underneck muscle to outpower you, right? We sometimes say that the horse is much, much stronger than we are.
Yeah.
Just make sure that they never find out about it.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
So, and that's the same thing applies to the underneck. So when the horse is bent,
Yeah.
he's less able to use the underneck muscle, right? We talked about this before. So we teach the horse to stop with the bend. So he always stops very softly and literally never figures out that he can use this thing against you.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Yeah.
go ahead and walk. And you just turn him and make sure the outside stays out of the way when you take a circle. Get a good bend to his neck. A little bit more bend in the beginning of this. And then gently keep the bend with the inside, apply the outside, and wait for him to stop. Keep the bend and wait. Good job. And the goal is that he just stops very quietly and softly, no bracing whatsoever. Do that 3 times.
That's okay. I know. Oh, I'm here. I'm coming right at the cameraman.
Get bend him and stop. Just keep doing it, just focus. Just set up, you get set up again and do it.
Yeah.
And you can just be a little bit further away from us than that. I'm sure the camera's assumed. Okay, and bend. And outside wind comes in and waits. Just wait for him to stop. Keep it up, you're doing good, just wait. Doing good, just wait. Keep the bend, keep the contact. Keep the bend, keep the contact, and wait for him to stop all 4 feet. Good.
Okay.
Okay, good. So, there's more reasons for this. One of the other reasons is it helps improving his balance. Do it again, I'm going to build on this a little bit more. It helps improve his balance because he has no way to stop on your hands, right? If the horse stops by leaning a little bit onto your reins, onto your hands, he's also leaning a little bit on the forehand, right? So, it helps improve his balance, I feel. Now take your time and stop him. Good. Think about it this way now. Walk forward, get him to turn, make sure he's soft on that one rein you're using to get him to bend with. So make sure he's soft on the right rein now. Once you get him soft on the right, then you think about stopping. If he's not soft on the right, don't think about stopping, see what I mean? And then you maintain the softness on the right as you stop with the left. That's the trick. If he's soft to the right and then soft on both, and probably, well, I don't know, might be better to use your right hand more towards your center, not outside your leg, more here maybe. I'm not sure, but you can just kind of play with that. Bend in. And stop in when you're ready. You're doing good, good, good. Good? That looked good, didn't it?
Yeah.
You only showed me the butt, so I don't know, but...
It was better because it was softer.
Good. That's the goal. It stops totally soft and no bracing, and absolutely effortless with a touch of a rein. Okay.
He's not as soft on this side.
Okay, okay. Then you might have to spend a little more time on the bending part of it. And then what you do is you start to play with the amount of bend. You can start to go like straight down the long side, just tilt his head a little bit left to right, and then stop. And for the longest time, this is something you will be using. That every time you want to stop him with both reins, you have him just a little bit looking one way or the other. You can still be going straight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't have to be on a circle. You can still be going more or less straight. You just kind of have a small bend or flexion in his neck before you apply pressure on both reins backwards. Good. Just making sure it's open. If you feel that he braces a little bit, as he is doing it, increase the bend and finish it then. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't accept the bracing at all. Nice.
Good.
Nice.
Cool.
Very nice. And again, outside line.
Oh, that's better.
No.
Getting a better idea of it, actually.
Exactly. See the reason he does this is he's trying to move the hind end and line it up behind the front end and be straight.
Right.
Horses always have a tendency, if they're any way insecure, not balanced, anything, right?
Yeah.
Any weakness anywhere,
Yeah.
they want to be straight, right?
Right.
So it doesn't mean he's nervous or not nervous at all, but it's more like his balance issue.
Good.
Very nice.
Good boy.
Very nice.
That was good.
Very effortless and smooth. You feel that?
Yes.
Very nice. Let's do that again. Good. And forward. Now ride him forward a little bit, so it's not just from one stop to another stop, so he doesn't forget forward is good. Okay, and just bend a little bit and stop.
His balance is in this direction.
Say it again.
His balance is not so good.
Exactly. And that's exactly what to expect with a young horse like this. That's very normal. Yeah. He's kind of finding a place for his feet when he's doing this, right? But this helps with his balance. You see, it is hard for him to stop properly if he doesn't have balance, you know what I mean? So you have to kind of work with it a little bit. That's okay. Circle to the right. Get a little bend. Get a little bend and stop. Very nice. Forward, let him walk now. So, just let him walk around a little bit. So, it looks to me here you have a very, horse with a great temperament. He's very, very calm nature. So what you have to protect here is the forwardness. Exactly. You really gotta protect him. You gotta make sure you keep the respect for the forward driving aids, right? So if you tell him to go, he has to go, and you cannot let him be until he goes. Okay. But because of his nature, you gotta also be careful not to let him go, right? It's like maybe one long side, and then he gets a break. Make sure he gets his break. He needs to see through the end of it. He needs to know, he needs to come to a point where he totally blindly trusts you that you're never going to ask him to do more than he can, right? But if you ask him for something, you also mean it. See what I mean? It's a little bit like training a horse to pace. If I would pace my horse a mile, he would soon start to give me very slow pace because he's expecting a mile. If a good pace horse knows and is absolutely 100% sure that the rider will never ask him to do more than 250 meters or whatever it is, right? Yeah. That's the maximum length he'll go. Yeah. So he can absolutely count on giving you all the energy he has, because then it's going to be over with. See what I mean? Yeah. A little bit like that, you have to think with him. This kind of horse you don't take for long trail rides. No, you don't. This kind of horse right now, don't take him for long trail rides now. And when at his young age, yeah, take him on the trail rides, but not long ones. Half an hour trail rides, 20-minute trail rides, 40-minute trail, something like that. Right. So here's the thing. You see, horse's nature is when you start to ride them far, and they expect a long ride,
Yes.
their nature is to reserve energy. They start to hold back, not give you everything. They reserve it because they're expecting a 6-hour ride or something, right? You know what I mean? Like when you take a horse and trekking in Iceland, they're either running all day or being ridden. You know what I mean? So it's like maybe a 6-8 hour day, moving more or less, right? That calms them down often a lot because they start to reserve energy, right? They need to keep it because they know we have a ways to go, right? They don't waste it. So if I have a lazy horse, obviously I got to get into shape, so it's a fine line sometimes.
Right.
But if I have a horse that I want more spunk out of, I go short rides, I rather go a little bit faster, I expect him to listen, and I make sure he understands that I'm not going to ask him for a long ride. If I have very high strung horses, and I want him to kind of calm down, I send them on a track. You know what I mean? Because that's where they learn to reserve. So if you take this horse at this age with this attitude, and you go for many hours of trail ride, he will start to reserve more and go slower and slower and slower. And it's like, no. So you gotta make sure you keep it short, okay? But you also gotta make sure that you mean what you say.
Right.
If you say go, there is no other option than going.
Right.
And you gotta get a satisfactory response.
Yep.
See what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, come here. I would want to stop with him now.
Definitely.
Okay, good.
This is plenty of work for him.
Good, I think so.
That's a lot of work. That was great.
Bend him, remember?
Bend him.
And then stop it.
Bend him and stop him. And stop him. This is the hard side. The sides are so different for him. Oh my goodness.
Say it again.
His sides are so different. He can't, it's very hard for him to curve this way. The other way is very easy. It's easy.
And that's obviously just, what to expect, but that's also your job is to slowly, and that's what I was saying with the canter. You have to keep an eye out on this for the canter. I mean, because of this, I'm sure, you might not have noticed it, but I'm sure he will choose one lead over the other.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, I'm sure he will do both leads, but I'm sure he will prefer one. And you gotta make sure you don't always allow him to do that lead. You gotta somehow figure out ways to get the other lead too.
Right.
But this is a super nice guy.
He's a nice horse, right? He's so sweet.
Very nice.
He's very sweet.
He's a little more strength, obviously, and then he's going to get more power with it. You're just going to make sure you preserve.
Over this winter. And my inclination is to let him just grow over the winter and not fuss with him
He's about to be plenty trained for his level, for his age. Yes. And you just got to kind of protect his spirit, you know what I mean? Right. While he gets physically and mentally mature enough to give it to you know what I mean? If you take a horse like this and you start to train it to pieces, you just shut them down. Okay, just come. Good.
Getting off. I'm getting off.
You can really just see in his eyes how solid he is, Oh yeah. It's really obviously a very nice guy.
And friendly. You see how friendly? He's very friendly.
The other one is way more kind of up, right?
Yeah, they're totally different.
And probably always has been.
They could not be more different.
Right. Same model though, right?
Yes.